Yes, sir. Detroit Pistons news, boys. Blake has formally requested a trade from the Pistons, and now Detroit Pistons and Blake Griffin are working together to get him traded from Detroit. So how do I know this, boys? Adrian Wojnarowski reported that Detroit and Blake have mutually agreed to work on a trade to get him out of Detroit, and until he can get traded, both parties have agreed not to play him. So Blake Griffin, you won't see him on an NBA court anytime soon until he gets traded out of Detroit. So this is likely what's going to happen. So what does this mean for the Pistons, boys? It means a couple of things. So the Pistons have actually been trying to work on a Blake Griffin trade. Let me put my car light back on. So the Pistons have actually been trying to work on a Blake Griffin trade for months now, dating all the way back to the offseason and the bubble season. The Pistons have been trying to trade Blake Griffin, but they just haven't been able to. So the Pistons are now leaning fully into their rebuild, building around guys like Saddiq Bey, Sekou Demboya, Killian Hayes, Jeremy Grant, and the rest of those boys. So they're leaning fully into their rebuild. They already traded Derrick Rose, got some assets back for that, got Dennis Smith Jr. in a second round. Now they're trying to trade Blake Griffin. So what this means for the Pistons is by trading Blake Griffin and not playing him, it means there's going to be more minutes for the young guys, more minutes for Sekou to develop, more minutes for Saddiq Bey to develop. And I love what I'm seeing from Saddiq Bey. That game he had against the Celtics with 7 threes, I think he scored about 30 points. I was truly impressed by this guy. The Pistons definitely got one of the steals at the draft, picking Saddiq Bey number 19th in the draft. How did a team like Boston not pick him? That's exactly who they need right now. But I digress. We'll talk about that another time, boys. But the most likely scenario with this Blake Griffin Pistons bullshit, what I think is going to happen is the Pistons are likely going to have to end up buying this guy out. They've been trying to trade Blake Griffin for months. No team is really interested in paying that price for Blake Griffin. He's owed $36 million this season, $39 million next season, 2 years left on his deal. That's way too much for a guy like Blake Griffin who, let's all be honest, boys, Blake Griffin is pretty much washed in this league. He can still be a great contributor. I think his role on a team would be a role player on a contending team, similar to like we've seen with Carmelo Anthony and the Portland Trail Blazers. I don't think he's so bad he should be out of the league or anything. I just think when you're paying a guy max money and he's not on a max level contract, it gets kind of tough. Same thing happening with Kevin Love and the Cavs. So I think it's very likely that the Pistons are going to buy him out and Blake Griffin will give up some of his money in the buyout because a new team will sign him. So, for example, let's say Blake Griffin was making $30 million. The team might buy him out and offer to give him $20 million, and he might forego $10 million of that $30 million. So that's what I'm trying to say. He'll give up some money and then they'll buy him out the rest and pay him over a couple of years. So that's what I think is going to happen with Blake Griffin, boys. He's likely going to get bought out by the Pistons, allow them to play their young guys more, Saddiq Bey, Sekou Demboya, and then a contending team will probably pick him up on the waiver wire and let him be a role player off the bench for them. So let me know what your thoughts are on this Blake Griffin situation. What do you guys think the Pistons should do with Blake Griffin? Do you have any trades in mind, shit like that? If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. We do new NBA videos every single week. Peace, boys.